In California, a jury awarded millions of dollars to a woman who suffered anxiety and stress due to social media in a landmark case.
They called on Meta and YouTube to pay up, and now it renews the focus on the grip of social media, especially on young people. Attorney Kristen Elmore Garcia joins us now to talk more about this. Kristen, thank you so much for coming in this afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
So there are actually two verdicts this week against Meta in particular. For anyone who may not be up to speed, can you give us a quick rundown on what's happening in the courts?
I'd be happy to. In Los Angeles County this week, there was a landmark jury trial verdict. The first verdict in the country to hold social media platforms responsible for addictive social media design. And I'm very proud to say that the attorneys who are responsible for that verdict are our co-counsel and are actively, directly assisting us and have been for years on the TOPS litigation.
And of course, Meta and YouTube, they are named as defendants in a civil lawsuit connected to the TOPS mass shooting. And you, of course, you and your father, your law firm, are representing families of victims, of course, impacted by the shooting. Some people may be wondering how this case or cases out on the West Coast could affect the Buffalo case here.
It's a great precedent. It shows that courts are willing to hold social media companies accountable for their dangerous product design features. The case out of Los Angeles is a case in which a young woman developed a very severe social media addiction at a young age and developed documented in her medical records mental health harms, and it's going to affect her for the rest of her life. And the jury in California decided that they will be liable. This helps us in New York State because this is a frontier of the law. Our courts have never decided this question before, and in fact, our lawsuit is the very first lawsuit of its kind, hoping to hold social media companies accounting in the situation of a mass shooting specifically.
Looking at the case in California, is there anything Meta, YouTube can do at this point now that this verdict has been ruled?
There's very obviously going to be an appeal. YouTube and Meta believe that they are protected by a federal law called the Communications Decency Act. But when you look at the Communications Decency Act, it's a law from 1994. It's before modern algorithms, before modern social media platforms. In fact, YouTube presented the argument that they're not a social media platform at all. I mean, take that for what it's worth. But there is an appetite in our court systems now nationwide for social media accountability.
There was an award of $6 million to the victim in the California case. From what I understand, a judge could have the final say on that in terms of what the dollar amount would be. But some people may be thinking, trying to extrapolate here in terms of the Buffalo case and how much a settlement or an award could be. Is there any reaction that you have to that?
Well, a judge certainly would have the authority to adjust a jury verdict in that case, and the social media companies can and will appeal in that case. It's very premature to assign any sort of value, but you're getting into really hard questions of how much is human life and human safety really valued. We are heading to the New York State Court of Appeals, our state's highest court in Albany this year. We just filed our appellate briefs to the court in Albany, and hopefully our state laws will offer the same protections that the states in California and New Mexico offer their citizens.
To piggyback off of that, can you give everyone an update on as to exactly where this case kind of stands right now, what you're working on?
Right now, we're proud to announce that about 2 weeks ago, we filed a one-of-its-kind brief in the New York State Court of Appeals. We will be an oral argument against these very same social media companies later this year, and I hope you two will be following along.
And let's remind people on the goal of the lawsuit. You're trying to obviously get to the truth of the matter and exactly what happened, but you're also looking for reforms, and the cases out on the West Coast were monetary in terms of damages. You're actually looking for reforms from some of the biggest companies in the world, Meta, Google, right?
You have
talk about those reforms that you're actually looking for.
You have to speak these companies' languages. These are some of the wealthiest companies ever to exist in history. So if we want to catalyze change, you have to hit them where it hurts. If enough courts are willing to hold them liable for predictable harms that their users experience, then maybe that will be the changing force to say, actually, let's design a safer platform. You know, human life and human safety wasn't a big enough reason before, but if courts are going to hold them responsible in a financial way, then maybe that will motivate them to make their platform safer.
Such as time restrictions.
Time restrictions, warnings, algorithms that are not based on user engagement and time spent, but rather things that actually do interest you. That's a huge misconception. Social media platforms are free for the users because in exchange, they're obtaining advertising revenue. The advertising revenue increases the longer you stay on the platform. So the number one metric is time spent on the platform.
Well, this certainly is an important conversation we will continue having. Unfortunately, our time is short. Attorney Kristen Elmore Garcia, thank you so much for taking the time to come in this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Kristen, thank you. All right, let's send things over to